What if I told you there's a way to get your neighbor to pay your mortgage? Now, before you go rushing over to your neighbor's house demanding money, watch the rest of this first. That way, both you and I don't get in trouble. All right, here's the deal. We're talking about multifamily properties. Now, the options for financing multifamily properties really hasn't been that great up until now. You had conventional loans, which typically you need 15 to 25% down to finance a 2 to 4 unit owner occupied property. You had an FHA loan, which you could finance with only 3.5% down. Problem though is for 3 and 4 unit properties, it has to pass something called a self-sufficiency test, which killed a lot of deals. Really good option would be a VA loan. You don't need any down payment for a VA loan. However, you have to be eligible for a VA loan, and not everyone is. Let's go back to the conventional loan. Problem with conventional loan financing is you need that bigger down payment. Think about people that might be buying a 2 to 4 unit property. A lot of the time they're younger buyers or first time buyers or someone looking to get into a property that wants to also have rental income to help offset the payment. But those younger buyers typically aren't the ones that have 15 to 25% available to use as down payment on a house. Who are the people that have 15 to 25% to put down? Usually a little more established, and a lot of times with a family, and those families typically don't want to go back into a situation where they're living with neighbors that have a shared wall. But here's what happened last month to help kind of solve that problem. There was a big change in the down payment requirement for conventional financing. Now, instead of 15 to 25% down, you can buy a 2 to 4 unit multifamily property as owner occupied with only 5% down. Now, when news of this first came out, I will admit, I was skeptical. I didn't think it was going to be practical. I thought this was going to be one of those changes that they announced, but by the time rates came out for those programs, it was going to be so expensive, it would make it completely impractical. I was wrong. The rates and terms on these programs are actually not that bad. It's not that much more expensive than if you're buying a traditional single family home. So while the rates are a little bit higher on these programs, a buyer is able to get either 1 or 3 of their neighbors to help pay for their mortgage. And that's through the rental payments they would collect on the property being a landlord. Now, this is for owner-occupied property, so you do have to live there. Do you have to live there forever? No. Typically, the language in the paperwork that you sign at closing says your intention is to live in the property for at least the next 12 months. So what a lot of people will do is live in that property until they don't want to live in that property anymore, and maybe they want to buy a single-family home. So now they can move out of that multifamily property that they have, buy a single family home, live in that single family home. That can be conventional primary residence purchase, and they can keep that rental property if they want to keep it. You don't have to refinance it. You don't have to get a different type of loan. You can keep the existing loan and go get a new loan on a new primary residence. That's a real good way to start building a real estate portfolio, building wealth, and having your neighbors pay for your mortgage.